The Ford Focus is one of the best family hatchbacks to drive. Trouble is, a relatively small boot means it's not quite as practical as its rivals.
Well, if you want the Focus fun factor but more load space, just get this Estate, because its boot is half as big again as the hatchbacks. Now we'll come back to that later on in the review, because first let's talk about the design.
The Estate gets the latest updates to the rest of the Focus range. So there's a new grille and lights up front. When combined with some minor tweaks to the rear, the revised Estate looks posher than before.
It's the same story here inside the cabin. Now all but the entry-level model gets this new infotainment system with easy to use touchscreen, and it's so much better than the system in the old car. You can also get Ford's new Sync 2 voice activated control system. You can control a wide range of the car's functions just using your voice, and rather than repeat myself here and bore you guys to death, you can actually see the system in action in our review of the Ford Focus hatchback.
Inside, updates also include a new steering wheel design, and while quality may not quite be class leading, soft touch materials on the dash help give the Focus Estate a reasonably pleasant feel.
Here in the back seats, the Focus Estate feels more roomy than the hatch, and part of that is because it actually is, and part of it is an illusion. So knee room is the same as the hatch. The Estate body style means that you do have a tad more headroom, but you also get bigger rear windows, and you get this extra rear window here, and I'll just take the camera from my camera on to show you. A bit unconventional this, there you go. And that helps let light into the cabin, and it makes it just feel more spacious back here. Now the middle seat, we actually sat three adults, three burly men actually in the back of this car, and it was doable. Not that comfy, but doable. And I think this centre seat is pretty yielding. Look at that, it's very, very comfy. As for cubby spaces, you've got decent sized door bins here in the back, and yes, that is not as big as the usual Carbuyer big bottle. But the reason I got this one is to show you these other cubby spaces you've got in the back of the Focus. There's another one down here, and actually overall cubby spaces throughout the entire cabin are pretty impressive. You can get the Ford Focus Estate with a fire-breathing 2-litre turbo petrol with 250 horsepower in the hot hatch, or shall that be hot Estate, ST version. You can also get it with a dinky little 1-litre 3-cylinder turbo petrol, which isn't quite as absurd as it may seem in a car of this size. Really though, for most people, the diesels will be the best bet. And the 1.5-litre diesel in this car offers the best blend of performance, economy and price. Now Ford says it emits under 100 grams per kilometre of carbon dioxide, so it's free from road tax. They also say it will do 74 miles per gallon. However, this trick computer is saying that this one in my hands is doing 51.5 miles per gallon, so not quite there, but not too bad. And I really think that out on the road, real world economy figure over 50 miles per gallon, you've got to be pretty pleased with that.
Ford has made some changes to the Focus to sharpen the steering, improve the ride quality and to make it quieter to travel in, and these have extended to the Estate. So, has it worked?
Obviously, being the Estate model, you've got some extra body, so it's a bit heavier than the hatchback, so it's not quite as agile on a twisty road, but you're only really going to notice that if you're pushing the car very hard, which really, in an Estate car, it's not likely, is it? And overall, you know, this is a fine handling car. It grips well, it steers well, it's comfy, it's reasonably quiet, but is it better handling? Is it more fun? Is it quieter? And is it comfier than the previous Ford Focus Estate? I don't know. You'd have to back them to really tell the difference. Sorry, Ford. You know, I've got to tell the truth.
The main issue was the size of its boot, and Ford has been able to do very little about this.
Okay, I said at the beginning that it's 50% larger than on the hatchback, and it is, which is good, and so too is the fact that you've got no load lip to lift stuff over. The problem is that pretty much almost every other Estate car in this class has a bigger boot. For instance, the boot on a Peugeot 308 SW is 25% larger.
The Peugeot also has somewhere to store the parcel shelf, whereas the Focus doesn't. Still, you can get a space-saver spare wheel. Also in the Ford, you have to flop out the seat bases first in order to get a flat load bay. And even then, once you've got the seats down, the overall load capacity isn't as spacious as you get with the Ford's rivals.
But you know what? If the Focus offers enough load space to meet your needs, then you'll be more than happy with it because it's cheap to run and it's very good fun to drive. But if you do need more load space, then watch our video review of the Peugeot 308 SW by clicking here. Click here for the Skoda Octavia estate. If you click above my head, you can see the Focus prices on our website. Click up here for our very latest video review, and of course on our logo to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you're watching on mobile, click the links below the video as they do exactly the same thing.